Pokemon home support for Legend ZA is finally here, so you know what that means. Clearing out boxes to make room for that huge pile of shiny Litleo that you caught in Wild Zone 3. Well, that and I got to thinking, is Legend ZA good? Is it worth playing? Did it suck? Is it the kind of game that we want to see more of? Let's talk about that. While everybody is of course playing the heck out of Pokopia right now and talking about it a ton, I wanted to take a quick look back on the latest core game in the series, Pokemon Legends ZA. ZA is a core game, right? I think it is. Anyway, when ZA came out back in October, I couldn't wait to play it. Especially considering that it was the first Pokemon game for the Switch 2. I was lined up at the local GameStop at 11 p.m. with a bunch of other sweaty nerds who couldn't wait to start exploring Lumio City. Okay, they weren't all sweaty nerds. Nice people, actually. Me, on the other hand, definitely sweaty and definitely a nerd. Oh, and for pre-ordering, I got this tote bag. It's got Mega Gardevoir on it. Yeah. And because I took the next day off from work, again, sweaty nerd, I drove 90 miles per hour to get home to start this game. Okay, I didn't do 90, it was more like 80. But I just remember when I was first playing ZA, I was honestly blown away. Not necessarily for the visuals, which in my opinion are great, and I know there's been a lot of criticism on that for some reason. Let me just say this, if you're looking for mind-blowing visuals in a Pokemon game, you're barking up the wrong tree. Go play Xbox.
They ask you how you are, you just have to say that you're fine when you're not really fine.
And not just by the gameplay, which features a refreshing real-time twist on the classic Pokemon formula. And not just by the music, which honestly may have been my favorite part of this entire game. Good grief, how long was that banging Lumio City theme stuck in my head?
Okay guys, thanks so much for joining today's call. We're just going to take a moment to introduce ourselves, and then we're going to go over some of the QPR, quarterly performance reports that we looked at last fiscal year. And then this time we're going to just weigh in and double down and do a deep dive and make sure everybody understands what our level set goals are for this quarter. Judy, can you please mute and turn your camera on, please? Thank you. Chase, are you even paying attention?
But really, what surprised me the most was Legend ZA's concept. While some might view it as a restriction for a game to take place entirely in one location, I didn't see it that way. I don't think that was the intent behind this game. As if Game Freak was like, hey, you know how Legends Arceus was all about exploring the wilderness across an entire region? Let's do a 180 and make the next Legends game take place entirely in one city because we're lazy. And if you honestly think that's what's going on, I guess I can't help you. But the concept and setting for Legends ZA is not a restriction. Just like with Legends Arceus, it's all about exploring the Pokemon world and seeing it in a new light, and outside the scope of the typical core series. Or the other games in the core series. Are Legends Arceus and Legends ZA core games? Someone help me out, seriously. While PLA took place in an untamed, wild, past version of the Sinnoh region, PLZA takes place in an urban, sophisticated, and slightly future version of Lumio City in the Kalos region. So rather than being limiting, ZA did the exact same thing that Arceus did. It gives us a deep dive.
Do a deep dive?
A honed in, up close, and detailed view of a particular place in the series that we otherwise wouldn't have gotten, complete with in-depth looks at specific characters, some returning, and many that are brand new. Speaking of characters, Legend ZA includes a cast of mostly new faces that comprise the motley crew that is Team MZ, a club of sorts that's dedicated to protecting the city from the phenomenon of rogue mega evolution. Yeah, that's kind of the main conflict that drives the story in this game. Actually, now that I think about it, the main antagonist of ZA is Mega Evolution. Which sounds lame until you consider what a ticked off Mega Garchomp set loose in a highly populated downtown area might be like. Anyway, I really got a kick out of all the new human characters, like Canary for example. The colorful characters in Legend ZA help to give more depth to the game's slice of life style, and they do this by serving as archetypes of different segments of society in the real world. You've got the caffeine-addled gaming streamer, the passive-aggressive elite, the exhausted and resentful shift worker, the brooding artist, the blue-collar construction contractor, the crazed fitness guru, the goth girl, and the list goes on. The characters this time around were really unique and brought some variety to a series that's otherwise been defined by generic trainer classes. I mean, think back to the earlier games, especially Red and Blue, which didn't even have names for trainer NPCs. Forget Team Rocket. Kanto was overrun with a far more sinister legion of identical weaklings, bug catchers, and youngsters. One obsessed with using Metapod that only uses Harden, and the other with shorts. But the characters in ZA are colorful and distinct, and went a long way in giving Lumio City more personality. There's still plenty of generic NPC models to be fair, But as I'm sure you've heard about, some of that dialogue is totally out of pocket. There's been a ton of talk about Legends EA's totally bizarre NPC dialogue, so I won't go too much into detail, but seriously, that was one thing that stood out to me immediately when I first played through the game. I mean, some of these NPCs say some seriously off-the-wall stuff, and especially for a Pokemon game. Some of it hilariously outrageous, and some of it kind of dark. But aside from the characters, of course, there's the Pokemon. While not including any new Pokemon, Legends EA serves as the triumphant return of the much beloved battle mechanic / gimmick, Mega Evolution. And in a huge way. Really, the entire game revolves around Mega Evolution as you traipse throughout the city to stop rogue Mega Pokemon with, you guessed it, other Mega Pokemon. What's cool though is that on top of the game's real-time battling system, which is totally new to the franchise, it also features full-blown boss battles with these supercharged menaces. Now of course, Legends Arceus had boss battles, but this time around, they mean business. Some of these were straight up frustrating and took multiple tries, which I was surprised by, pleasantly. One of the biggest criticisms of modern Pokemon games is their low difficulty, so I was actually glad that I was frustrated, if that makes any sense. I'm mad, and I'm happy about it. And then of course there were all the new Mega Evolutions, which for the most part were amazing, and there are plenty of them, almost 50 in all. Mega Feraligatr caught me off guard, I'm not gonna lie. Honestly, my personal favorite might be Mega Phalanx, but maybe that's just because I was obsessed with Power Rangers as a kid. So all in all, I really enjoyed Pokemon Legends ZA and look at it as a refreshing take on a format that could have just been a copy and paste of Legends Arceus. While Lumio City isn't as vast as Hisui in terms of square footage, it's far more detailed and complex, and has plenty of hours of content to explore. The real-time battle mechanic, which I admittedly was pretty skeptical about, is actually very well executed and makes for some pretty exciting battles. Did I say exciting? I meant stressful. Because getting murked repeatedly by Mega Garchomp when you're trying to counter with your best fairy type is exactly that, stressful. And while I'm definitely not in the camp of wanting the real-time battles to replace the turn-based mechanics that we're all accustomed to, I thought it was really well done and I had a great time with it. And that's coming from a crotchety Pokemon purist.
Yes, that's me. I'm over here.
With Pokemon Champions releasing in just a few days and being entirely dedicated to classic turn-based battles, it looks like the Pokemon battles that we all know and love are here to stay, and that's a good thing. But I'd also say that there's plenty of room for trying something new. And to me, that's what Legends EA represents. A new spin on a series that some might view as formulaic. Not me though. Now if you'll excuse me, I'm gonna go start my 575th playthrough of Crystal. So anyway, there's my overall take on Pokemon Legends ZA. But what do you think? What are some aspects of the game that you enjoyed? What are some aspects of the game that maybe you didn't enjoy so much? Do you want to see more titles in the Legends series? How do you think they fit in with the broader scope of the Pokemon core games? Again, thanks so much for watching. I truly appreciate it, and I'll see you all in the next video.